Hello everybody, today is March 20th, 2023, and this is my experiment investing $1 a day in 10 different cryptocurrencies and $1 a day in 55 different dividend stocks. You can see right here, start of day, how it's been going up, mainly for cryptocurrencies. Come over here to a 3-month period, we can look right here on January 6th, 2023 is when I started investing the first time in my life. We can see around February 20th, 2023, started a decline of many different things. The stock market started to go down. Around March 11th, 2023 is when the Fed decided to bail out Silicon Valley Bank, and we can see around March 14th that Credit Suisse started to go down under bankrupt, and then they maybe decided to start bailing them out. We haven't fully understand exactly what's going to happen this week. If you like this content, please feel free to leave me a comment, smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be posting a minimum every Monday and every Friday, sometimes Wednesdays, and throughout the week. Now let's go ahead and let's dive into this content a little bit more. We'll come over here to Bitcoin. Inside Bitcoin, the main reason why I think the money is being pushed around as it is you can see right here around March 11th, 2023 is around Silicon Valley Bank was bailed out, and people started to pull their money out and put it somewhere else, maybe in gold, maybe in bonds, who knows. But Bitcoin definitely is shooting up. March 14th, we can see that Credit Suisse maybe has started to get bailed out as well, and all of a sudden that shot up as well. So Bitcoin is definitely shooting up very high. Not just Bitcoin, a bunch of other cryptocurrencies are also changing as well. Let's come over here and let's change this to the last price so you can see the actual physical price. You can see that things are going up as they are. A lot of different companies, even though I'm investing in these dividend stocks, it looks like they're green, so they may be doing a little bit better. We don't actually know what's going on. The view that I like to look at this, and the mainly way how you see it, is I come over here and I click this little button and I change it to my total return. So I'm seeing based on how much money I have in there and how much money I would get back if I were to sell these particular stocks or different trades today. Now some of these stocks that are doing pretty well, such as, or doing better than the other companies, because you have to see them each as their own companies. Coca-Cola, KO is doing pretty good. Cisco Systems like WebEx is doing pretty good. All these other companies are not. NEM, what is NEM? You come over here to Newmont. What is Newmont? A gold producer, engages in exploration and acquisition of gold properties, contains copper, silver, lead, and zinc. Natural materials, everybody needs those things in daily needs and how they build them. What is SO? If we come over to SO, Southern CO is a holding company which engages in generation and sale of electricity. Who doesn't need electricity nowadays? And you can just see that as I was talking about in some of my other videos, a lot of materials and physical needs are definitely not doing bad right this second. That's not to say that tomorrow or in the months to come that they still won't do good or bad, but commodities and other things and such as material are definitely needed in today's day and age. What is ED? Consolidated Edison Incorporated. It is a holding company which engages in the business of regulated electricity, gas, and steam delivery. So you can see right here that a lot of these companies are either gas, electricity. I know I have hit on fertilizer, but fertilizer may or may not, which is UAN. But that's not what really matters to me. What matters to me and why I'm investing the way that I'm investing is for dividend stocks, because I'm investing in 55 different dividend stocks at $1 a day. You come over here to my profile, click this little gear menu, hit history. Under history, we come over here to dividends, and we're just going to look at, and you can clearly see that even April is starting to kick off as well. But we're just going to look all the way here in February. You can see how when I first started in January, they didn't kick off the dividends. But March alone, how many dividends do I have, and what was my plan? My plan was to get paid a dividend every single day out of a month, and I'm very close to that. I haven't fully gotten to that point, and I'm just gonna stick with that plan. So if we count exactly how many I'm getting this March that I already declared or already paid, so I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 different dividend payments that are going to happen the month of March. And if you look right here on the calendar, that's already go from March 1st to March 29th. It's very near. Only 2 days. If you and I know they're not paid every single day, but because they're only paid out through Monday through Friday. But if you count what I'm getting paid, only 2 of the days out of March, I'm not getting paid a dividend. So my strategy is, and the motivator for me is that I'm getting these small payments as I'm going, only $1 a day, and they're increasing. And then they stack and compound on top of each other. Now I have some other videos that explain even more in detail of how I compare it to video games. So I want to hit on a point of video games and how they compare to the stock market for myself. If you go and play a video game and you play it on the absolute hardest setting, do you expect to get very far in that game? It's the same thing as diving into the stock market or diving into anything in life. If you go in on the hardest setting, not knowing a thing, day one, start playing that game, you probably are not expecting to make it that far, or you're just using it as a learning process. I do that because I am a different type of person. A lot of people don't enjoy playing the games on the hardest setting, but I believe once you beat it on the hardest setting or start off and learn that way, you get better as you go, because I like to learn on the hardest and fastest. Now let's take another example. For example, Olympic athlete, and they decide to run a 100-mile marathon, and you have never trained at all to run a 100-mile marathon, and you all of a sudden you go and you expect to run this 100-mile marathon with this Olympic athlete. Do you expect to win? It's the same thing for the stock market. If you never trained and you never started off and actually started to try to do something, then you're probably not going to make it very far. And so the reason why I'm doing $1 a day is I'm starting at the beginning, learning as I'm growing in the stock market, in cryptocurrencies, and I'm slowly learning more and more. And as I learn, I share my story with everybody. Maybe it will help other people become educated and financially aware of what's going on in the world and about your own finances. So let's go back and let's back up to something that might relate to other people. What about a job? What if you went into a new job, and this new job is a business where you have to sell off your company, and you're put into this room with a whole bunch of other business owners? Are you expected to land a deal and sell your company on day one with no training? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Okay, and let's go back and see even further. Let's relate to other people. What about a fast food and cooking and flipping hamburgers, right? Or cooking any type of food. And you go into this fast food area and you're all of a sudden given 500 orders on day one. You have no training. Are you expecting to succeed? Are you even expected to still be hired after that day of 500 orders? And maybe you got to them all. Maybe you didn't. And did you stick with that fast food job to become better at it as a better cook flipping hamburgers? These are the type of concepts that if you put real life scenarios and put them into play, maybe you'll make it, maybe you won't. Now, I'm going to relate back to even more people, because there are people that can do that. They get in and all of a sudden they have mad skills and they could be hamburger flippers. Maybe you're one of those people that get into that business situation and you can land that multi-million, multi-billion dollar deal and sell off that company. Maybe you're not an Olympic athlete. You've never trained in your life, but you run 100 miles and you do finish. You become number one prize. You are a distinctly unique person. But a lot of people cannot do that. Or maybe you're one of the people that did already have previous experience or training in some fashion in some other way, and you became successful. Like maybe you're one of those people that seclude themselves in the forest, and you've learned and trained yourself up to be an extreme lumberjack, and when you get out and you do a competition, you can chop wood like no tomorrow. Maybe you're one of those really, really good video game players that can get into a game and instantly learn the game in less than a few minutes on the hardest setting, and you just go and you're great at it. You are uniquely different, but most people are not that way, and you have to understand that a lot of people are different and unique in their own way, and they learn in their own way. How does this all relate to the stock market? If you jump head first in and you put all your money in to something you have no idea what you're doing, you may fail, you may succeed, you could be lucky. And then there are those people that are lucky. They win the lottery, they win a ton of money. Somebody helps them and gives them advice or does these other things. But if they don't have the financial education or the skills to keep going, they may or may not make it in the future. For example, Olympic athlete again. 100 miles. After you run 100 miles, do you expect your body to not recover or be completely fine after running 100 miles? Do you not expect maybe at least a day of rest and recuperation? Some people dive headfirst in, they cripple themselves or they hurt themselves, and they just keep going. Let me go ahead and give you one more visual, one more story here. Let's say, for example, there's a soldier and he's on this bridge, and he is told to pick up a tiny little rock and drop a rock into a stack of pile every time somebody crosses underneath the bridge, okay? As a counting metric. So he's counting the metric for every time it comes in. And he's thinking, okay, well, his time's going on, people come by, he drops a rock. He decides, oh, this rock, this little pebble, that's nothing for me. I got muscles. He picks up a fist-sized rock, puts it inside the little bucket. Everything's fine. Okay, yeah, I could do a rock. Let's go do a two-hand size rock. So he picks up a rock with two hands and puts it inside the bucket. He's like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm great. I'm awesome. I know what I'm doing. Then he decides, okay, I'm gonna go pick up this boulder the size of my body, and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna put it into this little pile that I have here. And people start coming in, and as he's picking it up, he strains and he hurts himself, and he's not able to move anymore. Maybe he sprains his ankle or sprains his wrist or something, and he can't lift up that boulder, and he hurts himself. And then all of a sudden this group of 50 people start coming, and he can no longer pick up that one little pebble, that one little stone, and put it in the pile because he's too hurt, he's too injured to actually do it. That's the same sense of what's happening here. 50 people or hundreds of thousands of people are coming, and he can't even lift up one little pebble, one little rock. Opportunity can and will pass you by. People now, today, to be successful, or not to be successful, but a lot of successful people and a lot of successful companies happen during a recession, during a decline. Will it happen this year? I can't tell you. I have no idea. Do I believe and honestly think it will happen this year? I really do. I really think with everything that's happening around in the world, recession or some sort of recession is definitely bound to happen in some way. And if you can think of your own finances for your own situation and find a way to think outside the box, opportunity will come. 50,000 people will come, or 100,000 people will come under your bridge. And if you have the ability to pick up one stone and put it in the pile, you can succeed. Now let's take this picture and blow it up. Let's blow it up into another way of what could he have done. Maybe he could have built a wheelbarrow or a crate and started piling little pebbles into the wheelbarrow and crate, and move that wheelbarrow and crate and put it into the pile, so he had enough to actually get ready and prepared for those tons of people that are coming under his bridge, right? Maybe he could have hired or had friends help him pick up pebbles to move them. All of these things, if you start thinking outside the box, he was assigned one job: pick up a pebble and move a pebble and put it in a pile. But how he does it is up to him. And if you can think that way, outside the box, right? It's not just you, or think of other tools and other means to build to prepare yourself for what is about to happen, which a lot of people do believe, then you succeed. Or maybe you're one of those people that want to flex and show off and do these other things. There's so many different people and so many different variables. And this is just an example to help you maybe think outside of the lines of what normal people think, and start thinking of what can I do with my finances now? What is happening now to get myself ahead so that I'm not always behind in today's market. If you like this content, if you stayed here this long, thank you so much. Please feel free to leave me a comment, smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Be safe and have a good day.